A very peculiar trend has been happening all over the United States. As we all know, back in 2021, one of the first major accomplishments of the Biden administration was the Infrastructure and Investment Jobs Act, and Jobs Investment Act, however that's said. So it was not quite as much as necessarily needed or as much as we hoped, right? The report said we needed like 6 trillion. Bernie Sanders was saying, if we could get between 2 or 4 trillion, and we ended up with $1 trillion. Still a hefty sum, but obviously not enough to do all of the infrastructure projects that we needed. But that legislation was a huge accomplishment. It was the biggest investment in infrastructure we have ever had. And it put a lot of people to work, repaired a lot of projects that needed to be repaired before people died, like bridges. And it's been an overall success. Now, Republicans overwhelmingly hated it, including Donald Trump, who was out of office at the time, but constantly posting on social media about how this was going to bankrupt the United States. It's a horrible plan. We don't need it. This is dumb. In spite of the fact that this guy tried for 4 years, or promised for 4 years, I should say, that he was going to invest in infrastructure, campaigning in 2016 on being the world's greatest builder, and then never did it. And that's why the whole infrastructure week thing became a meme throughout the administration. They wanted to do it, they promised to do it, but they never actually got around to doing it. And Biden did in his first year, and it pissed Trump off. It pissed the Republicans off. Vast majority of them voted against it, said it was horrible, again, would bankrupt the United States. And then when they saw how much money their state's getting, they went back home and either did, little town halls boasting about the bill they voted against, putting out press releases touting the bill they voted against. As I sat right here and did segments every time one of these hypocritical Republicans did that. But now it's gotten even nastier because, as we all know, the money is still flowing to that. The money's going to projects. Projects are underway. The construction crews are out there right now. I've got one on my street, 30 feet from where I'm sitting right now. It's a little loud, but hey, that's Infrastructure and Investment Act. And what Donald Trump has started doing across this country is forcing these projects, like wasting money, to put up giant road signs, the big green signs you see on the highway. And the signs say, quote, President Donald J. Trump, rebuilding America's infrastructure. He had nothing to do with this. He did not pass any legislation in his first or now in his second term to improve the infrastructure here in the United States. This bill was signed by Democratic President Joe Biden, passed by a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate. This is 100% a Democratic thing. Democrats made it happen because Republicans never wanted to actually do it. And Donald Trump is out there putting his big, stupid frickin' name on it, acting like he did this, convincing the motorists driving by the construction on the bridge like, oh, look at that. This is a Trump project. Hell yeah, Trump. All right. No, this is infuriating. And in fact, let me tell you this quick, funny story here. Back during the Biden administration, there was like one project somewhere, I think it was in Texas, that Trump had done. And Biden ended up putting his name like President Biden's Investment in Infrastructure Act. And Ted Cruz was so mad, he actually challenged the legal authority of him to do that. He's like, bull crap, you can't take credit for something Donald Trump funded when he was president. But I don't hear Ted Cruz crying about that now as we're wasting money vital to these projects. I mean, we're talking about rebuilding bridges that were on the verge of collapse. And Trump is taking money away from them to put out these big roadside signs saying this is Donald Trump doing this. He is still taking credit for things that Biden did. The Amtrak, right, in D.C., they're taking credit for that, even though that was a Biden initiative, a Biden project. One of his administration officials went on Fox News 2 weeks ago, I think it was, to take credit for this. This administration has done nothing positive for the United States. They have not invested in infrastructure. They have not invested in workers. They are crushing the economy and taking credit for the good things that we get from Democrats. So if you see one of those signs on the side of the road right next to those construction workers, make sure that you know. Trump has not done a single thing to improve the infrastructure in this country, even though he's had almost 5 full years to do it. All of that work, that is being funded purely by Democratic initiatives. Thanks for watching, everyone. You know, we're inching closer and closer to 1 million subscribers, and we're aiming to hit that goal before the year closes. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thanks for joining us as we head towards this huge milestone.